Alright, so Season 28 of Apex Legends is shaping up to be one of the weirdest but potentially most exciting seasons we've had in a long time. No new legend, but a massive Fuse rework. Rank changes, new wildcards, 2 heirloom events, and some huge cosmetic drops. These are all leaks and early info, so nothing here is 100% confirmed, but based on what we're seeing from data mines and trusted sources, this is what we think is coming next season. Some of this could change how Apex plays more than adding a brand new legend ever would. So let's break down everything we know so far about Apex Legends Season 28 and what it could mean for the game. Let's start with the biggest surprise. Season 28 is expected to have no new legends. At first, that sounds disappointing, but when you really think about it, it actually makes a lot of sense. Respawn has been making a lot of changes to legends recently, and the roster is absolutely stacked. Balance is harder than ever, ability clutter is real, and new legends like Sparrow haven't shaken things up in the way they used to. However, Fuse is getting a big rework and some buffs. Fuse mains, this might finally be your season. Leaks suggest Fuse is getting a significant rework and not just tiny number changes. The biggest focus seems to be on improving his knuckle clusters and massively buffing his ultimate. Right now, Fuse is fun but inconsistent. He's great for chaos, but in high level play, he struggles to actually secure value compared to legends like Bangalore, Horizon or Catalyst. But that might just be changing. Knuckle clusters are reportedly getting improvements that make them more reliable and more threatening. This could include better stick consistency, more damage over time, a larger explosion radius, or faster deployment. If Respawn leans into making knuckle clusters a true zoning and pressure tool, Fuse could become way more viable in ranked and competitive play. Imagine being able to reliably force teams out of cover instead of just annoying them. That alone would be huge. Now, this is the big one. Fuse's ultimate has always been flashy but awkward. It looks scary, but is easy to escape, easy to counter, and rarely leads to actual kills. Leaks suggest that the ultimate is getting a significant buff, possibly involving faster deployment, higher damage, longer burn duration, or improved trapping mechanics. If Fuse's ult actually becomes a true area denial tool instead of a highlight reel ability, we could see Fuse become a real meta pick, especially on certain maps. And speaking of maps, World's Edge is getting another update. This map has been changed more than almost any other map in Apex history, and it keeps evolving every few seasons. While we don't know exact POI changes yet, the update is expected to shake up rotations, loot distribution, and endgame zones. World's Edge is already one of the most competitive maps in Apex, so even small changes could have a big impact on ranked and ALGS style play. If Fuse really is getting buffed at the same time, it'll be interesting to see how his kit interacts with updated choke points and building layouts. Another thing leaked for Season 28 is a new collaboration event. Apex has been doing more collabs lately and they've been getting bigger each time. We don't know the IP yet, but based on previous collaborations, expect limited time skins, themed cosmetics, and possibly even event challenges. These collabs usually bring a lot of attention back to the game, especially from players who might not be active every season. Season 28 also lines up with Apex's anniversary period, which means we're getting an anniversary event. If you've played Apex for a while, you already know what this usually means. Discounted heirloom shards, special packs, and exclusive cosmetics. Anniversary events are always some of the most popular events of the year, and they're usually when a lot of players jump back into the game. This also ties into one of the craziest parts of the leaks. Leaks suggest Season 28 will feature 2 separate heirloom events, introducing a Saber heirloom and a Whip heirloom. That's massive. We don't know exactly which legends these are tied to yet, but 2 heirloom drops in one season is not something we see often. This could mean shorter collection events, more aggressive monetization, or Respawn testing how far they can push cosmetic releases. Either way, heirloom collectors are going to have a rough season on their wallets. Now let's talk weapons. There's possibly a new elite weapon coming in Season 28. Details are extremely limited, but if this follows previous elite weapon designs, it could be something rare, powerful, and heavily restricted. Think of weapons that feel closer to care package level impact, but maybe exist in a different system. If done right, this could freshen up the loot pool without completely breaking balance. If done wrong, well, we've seen how that goes before. This is the part a lot of players are probably most excited about. Ranked improvements are reportedly planned for Season 28. No exact details yet, but the rank system has been one of the most controversial parts of Apex over the last few seasons. Matchmaking, scoring, hidden MMR, and progression all needed work. If Respawn actually addresses core ranked issues instead of just tweaking numbers, this could be one of the most important seasons Apex has had in years. Even small quality of life improvements could massively improve the ranked experience. Season 28 is also expected to introduce new wildcards. Wildcards are clearly something Respawn wants to keep experimenting with, and they allow for creative rule changes without permanently altering the core game. New wildcards could include modified abilities, altered loot behavior, or experimental gameplay mechanics. These are great for keeping Apex feeling fresh, especially during mid-season burnout. Now, let's talk Battle Pass. The Season 28 Battle Pass is expected to include a reactive Bocek skin. The Bocek hasn't had much cosmetic love compared to other weapons, so a reactive skin could bring it back into the spotlight. On top of that, Split 1 and Split 2 legendary skins have been leaked. Split 1 legendaries are expected for Octane and Seer, while Split 2 legendaries are expected for Loba and Catalyst. That's a pretty strong lineup, covering both movement-focused and control-style legends. The exotic shop is also getting an update, including a reactive recolor for the R301. The R301 is one of the most iconic weapons in Apex, so a reactive color is almost guaranteed to be popular. Exotic shop updates usually fly under the radar, but they're becoming more important as Apex adds more premium cosmetic systems. And finally, Fuse is expected to receive a prestige skin. That lines up perfectly with his rumoured reworks and buffs. Whenever a legend gets both gameplay improvements and high-end cosmetics in the same season, it usually means Respawn is pushing them into relevance. If the Fuse rework lands well, don't be surprised if you see him everywhere next season. Season 28 is also bringing some major changes to how matches actually play out, starting with map rotation. For ranked and public play, the map rotation is expected to be World's Edge, Broken Moon, and E-District. That's a very competitive heavy rotation. World's Edge is already one of the most played and studied maps in Apex. Broken Moon favours structured rotations and long sightlines, and E-District adds dense urban fights with vertical pressure. This rotation alone is going to heavily reward smart positioning and punish teams that rotate late or play overly aggressive early. But the bigger conversation is not just the maps, it's how you drop into them. Ranked is officially moving away from Drop Zone and back to the traditional dropship system. Drop Zone has been removed from ranked play entirely, and ranked matches will now align with pub matches when it comes to drops. On paper, this sounds like a simple revert, but a lot of high-level players are not happy about it. Pros liked Drop Zone because it reduced RNG, limited early griefing, and made early game planning more consistent. Going back to the old dropship means contested POIs are back in full force. Early third parties are more common, and ranked games could feel a lot more chaotic again. This change is clearly aimed at making ranked feel more like classic Apex, but whether that's a good thing or not is going to be a huge debate once the season actually goes live. One of the most interesting new mechanics coming in Season 28 is destructible hardlight windows. These hardlight panels allow visibility through them, but while they are intact, they completely block movement and gunfire. Once teams start dealing damage, the mesh can break. opening up brand new entry points and angles mid-fight. Explosives, sniper shots, shotguns and even melee attacks can speed up the destruction process, which means aggressive teams can force openings instead of waiting for doors or windows. What makes this even more interesting is that controller legends can repair or reinforce broken hardlight, restoring the mesh or increasing its durability. This adds a whole new layer to building fights, especially in ranked and competitive play. Instead of buildings being static, they now evolve during fights, rewarding teams that control space, utility, and timing better than their opponents. So overall, Season 28 might not look flashy at first glance because there's no new legend, but it could end up being one of the most impactful seasons Apex has had in a long time. Big balance changes, ranked improvements, map updates, new wildcards, and a ton of cosmetics, all packed into one season. If Respawn gets this right, Season 28 could be a reset moment for Apex Legends. Let me know what you're most excited about for next season, and if you think skipping a new legend is the right move or a huge mistake. If you enjoyed the breakdown, make sure to drop a like and subscribe for more Apex updates, and I'll catch you in the next one.